Time now for your AM 960 KLTF local news week in review. The Little Falls School Board Tuesday evening unanimously approved a two-question bond referendum ballot for voters in the Little Falls School District on Tuesday, May 10th. The first question will ask for $19,670,000 for deferred maintenance and repair. Also included in this will be remodeling and renovation projects, construction and installation of security, safety, accessibility improvements, irrigation and paving improvements, and the construction and equipping of an early childhood school readiness addition to Lincoln Elementary. The second question, which can only pass if the first question does too, would be for an additional $12.645 million for the construction and equipping of a gymnasium recreation addition to the high school. If approved by voters, the cost would be covered by an increase in property taxes. For more information, call the Little Falls Community High School for the superintendent, Stephen Jones, at 616-2200 next week. Construction has started at a Little Falls ethanol plant to convert it to a renewable chemical manufacturing plant. UK-based Green Biologics owns Central Minnesota Renewables, formerly known as Central Minnesota Ethanol Co-op. It's in the process of retrofitting the 21 million gallon a year ethanol plant into the company's first chemical manufacturing site by year's end. Scott Colomb will have more on this story on our Farm News Week in Review upcoming later this hour. Sherburne County District Court Judge Thomas Hayes ruled in favor of an extended juvenile jurisdiction for 17-year-old Carly Bolig of Little Falls a week ago Wednesday as the judge decided how to proceed with the charges of vehicular homicide facing the teen. The charges are related to an incident at the end of July last year in which Bolig allegedly ran a red light at an intersection of Highway 10 and County Road 11, striking a vehicle driven by Becker resident Charles Maurer. Maurer was killed in the crash, and his 10-year-old daughter, Cassie, later died from injuries sustained in the crash. Others were also hurt. The designation would allow a judge to impose a state adult prison sentence as well as a juvenile disposition with conditions similar to those of probation. Hayes' determination came after both attorneys presented cases on whether Bolig's actions did or did not meet the definition of gross negligence. Brainerd and Baxter police are warning residents of an IRS scam over the phone and email. In the past week, over a dozen calls to their office stated they received a call saying they are from the IRS demanding money. At least two of the reports stated the caller became agitated and stated that law enforcement would seek them out if they do not pay their fines for the late tax filings from 2015. The IRS, in a statement, reports that they do not call a person about taxes they owe without first mailing out a notice, and also they would never demand money or payment of taxes without giving the caller an opportunity to question or appeal the amount they say you owe. If you receive such a call, you are urged to hang up. If need be, report it to law enforcement. A St. Cloud State University philosophy professor has pleaded guilty to illegally smuggling items made of elephant ivory from the U.S. to China. 44-year-old Yui Zhang also pled guilty Wednesday to violating the Federal Lacey Act, which bans trade in wildlife, fish, and plants that have been illegally taken or sold. Zhang was indicted last year on multiple counts related to the smuggling of elephant ivory and rhinoceros horns. As part of the plea deal, Zhang has agreed to pay a $500,000 fine. He could also face roughly 3 years in prison when he's sentenced in May. The federal government has agreed to assume greater responsibility for prosecuting crimes on the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe's reservation at the request of the tribal government. The Justice Department and Mille Lacs Chief Executive Melanie Benjamin made the announcement Tuesday. Benjamin said in her annual State of the Band address that drug dealers and gang members who commit crimes on the reservation can be sent to federal prison and for longer. Deputy Attorney General Sally Quillen Yates says the decision will strengthen public safety and the criminal justice system serving the Mille Lacs Band. While the federal government already had the power to prosecute drug trafficking on the reservation, the change broadens federal jurisdiction to cover other major crimes such as murder, rape, felony assault, and felony child abuse. Airline passengers will need more secure driver's licenses called Real ID starting in January of 2018, January 22nd that year, if they want to use them as ID at airport checkpoints. The Department of Homeland Security made the announcement a week ago yesterday. Driver's licenses will be valid for travel identification in any state until that deadline in 2018. A passport could always be used as an alternative form of identification. Still, the license requirement could become a challenge after the deadline for travelers in 5 states and territory: Illinois, Minnesota, Missouri, New Mexico, Washington, and American Samoa, that do not currently comply with the Real ID standards. A 38-year-old Belgrade man was stabbed in the lung during a domestic disturbance early Tuesday morning. Authorities were called to a Belgrade residence at 424 Martin Avenue at 1:35 Tuesday morning. When a deputy arrived about a minute later, 2 subjects were fighting. A 38-year-old man who lived in the residence had multiple stab wounds, one that struck a lung. He was taken to St. Cloud Hospital. 41-year-old Bradley Mickles was arrested and booked into the Stearns County Jail on suspicion of first and second-degree assault. The incident remains under investigation. A Princeton farmer and former mayor of Zimmerman says he is running for the Minnesota State Senate seat in District 15. Dan Whitcomb will seek the Republican Party endorsement. Senator Dave Brown of Becker has occupied the District 15 seat since 2011. He does not plan to run for re-election. District 15 includes parts of Morrison, along with Mille Lacs, Sherburne, and Wright counties. Malacca Republican Andrew Matthews has also announced he plans to run for that seat. The 34th year of the local Toys for Kids program, providing Christmas gifts for Southern Crow Wing County families, was very successful. The Marine Corps League received donations and contributions which enabled them to serve at least 485 families, including over 1,100 children. An average of approximately 100 businesses and organizations annually support the program through the collection of toys and financial donations. The Five Wings Art Council has named Laura Hanson of Little Falls the winner of the 2015 Stevens Poetry Manuscript Competition. Her winning book, Midnight River, will be published by the National Federation of State Poetry Societies this year. And a reminder, with Monday being Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, city offices will be closed, so the Little Falls City Council will meet Tuesday night next week. That completes this week's Local News Week in Review. Thanks for listening.